Hey, this is your hillbilly historian coming to you from the hills of East Tennessee and Appalachia. Hey, I bring you history you won't find in your college or high school textbooks. I bring you the truth of American history, what is real, what is not real, and try to bring you honesty, truth, justice, and the American way. And you don't hear that anymore coming out of Marvel, do you? And Walt Disney, left-wing liberal bull crap they're putting out. But anyway, I want to talk to you today about what is a conservative? Who is a real conservative and who is not? There's Charlie Sheen and Charlie Harper and his nephew Jake Harper used to love to say, "Who's snot?" Who is snot? But anyway, perfect example of who is not a conservative, who pretends to be one, is our state senator Ken Yeager. He talks conservative, goes to Nashville. He's one of the top 4 socialist voters down there. There was a big article in the Nashville paper about how left-wing and socialist his voting is. Our state representative, Dennis Powers, rides that fence. He votes conservative when Ken Yeager and them let him vote conservative. If they want him to vote socialist, he's always absent. So that keeps him up around the A category of conservative voters anyway. Anyway, one of the biggest fake conservatives in this country, he's on TV all the time. Thank God not as much as he used to be. He's sucks up to the big stream, lamestream lying media. That's none other than George Will. Claims he's a conservative. He was a neo-conservative. He was in favor of helping Ukraine with all the money we could, as corrupt as they were, knowing they were stealing every penny. And all the military hardware we were giving them, they were selling it for pennies on the dollar, making money off that. It's absolutely horrifying how crooked these people really are. George Will, let me give you the best example. He claims to be conservative, but he ain't conservative. And let me give you the best example. George Will claims to be a baseball expert. And he does study a lot of baseball. Collects a lot of books and data on baseball. And claims to be an expert on baseball. And there was a ball game where this big black hitter got up, slammed a walk-off home run. There was enough people on base to win the game. It was the bottom of the ninth. He hits his home run. He rounds the bases, comes down the third baseline toward home. The whole team's out there to greet him. And he jumps and stomps both feet onto home plate. And he fractures a bone in his leg, one of the bones in his leg. And it was a tragic accident. But George Will claimed right then and there that there ought to be a rule to outlaw celebrations at home plate. Now, that ain't no damn conservative thinking. 175 years of baseball. Of course, now there's been almost 200 years of baseball. One time a guy cracks a leg, a bone in his leg, and George Will wants to change the rules for baseball forever. One time in 150, 170 years, this happened. Never happened before. But George Will is willing to change the rules. That ain't conservative thinking. That's left-wing, liberal, oligarch, rule the world type thinking. So George Will is a fake conservative. He don't think like a conservative. A conservative would have just said, oh, too bad he broke that leg. Must have been kind of weak to begin with for him to jump on the home plate like that and break a damn bone in his leg. Sad. But he'll heal. That's the way conservatives think about it. But not George Will. He wants to change the rules. Outlaws celebrations had been taking place for 170 years. That's not the brain set of a conservative. A conservative keeps things pretty much as they are if they're working. They change them if they're not working. That's the great thing about a conservative, is he analyzes what's not working and makes it work. You know? And then celebrates afterwards. But not George Will. He wants to go around changing the rules. That's liberal thinking. Left wing. Change everything. Take over. Rule the roost. Take all the fun out of it. That's liberal, left wing thinking. That's George Will for you. Amazing how these people pose as one thing, but their actions show the truth about who they are and who they are not. And you judge a man by his actions, not by what he says. And people like George Will, they get on TV or they get an op-ed and they're writing all every day, and but they're not conservative. Real conservatives is like Joe Rogan, who looks at bullshit and calls it what it is, bullshit. Common sense, he applies common sense to everything, like J.D. Vance, Donald Trump, Rubio. It's amazing. But you let these AOCs take over the world, you're going to be up shit creek. We got to stop this left-wing liberal movement right now in its tracks, because they're admitting they're communist, and that's what they're going for. But anyway, this is your hillbilly historian trying to enlighten you on the reality of conservative thinking and liberal oligarch control the world type thinking. This is your hillbilly historian coming to you from the hills of East Tennessee and Appalachia. You have a good, warm July day.